Former NXT superstar Bull Dempsey, now known as James Smith. Am I correct?
Bull James.
Bull James?
Yes.
Okay, that's your new name?
Give everybody my real name, Rob. Thanks.
Sorry, man. They're going to look you up at Facebook and friend request you now.
Talk to the promoter and ask him if there's a spot. And, don't worry about getting paid. Just go pay your dues and learn and learn and learn and learn. And that's what I did. I just went to different shows, made connections with different guys, and I talked to Danny Doring, who's a close friend of mine, and he put over, Taz's training. He said, look, it's going to be tough, but you're going to learn so much, so it's worth it. And it's totally worth it. He goes, I would say just go for it. He's like, he's not going to screw you over. He's not going to be a money grab. He's like, if I know this guy, and he's still the guy that I knew back in the day, he's going to put everything he's got into this thing. It was tough, man. That was probably the hardest 3 days of my life, let alone like professional or personal. Like that was, tried you. They tested you, and it was rough.
Who else was down in the camp you were at? Because I know for a fact that I was told after that was over, I think like that night, you were the standout guy
that's cool.
from everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
It was myself, Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, Kalisto, Samurai Del Sol, Sean Ricker, who's now Eli Drake. Who else was there for that? Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, he was there. He pulled me aside. He goes, talk to Regal, because I'm pretty sure we're going to want you back here. Okay, cool. Talked to Regal. Got booked again the next month. Had a match against Bill Carr before SmackDown. And then everybody was lined up to do their promos in front of Regal, but only a couple guys got to go. And I went to Stryker. I'm like, hey, can I go cut a promo? He's like, you just need to go and relax and let the people that need to talk for you now talk for you. And I didn't really know what it meant at that time. I was just like, okay, cool, and kind of just wandered off. And then Regal came and found me later. He goes, they're going to call you for a tryout in February, so be ready for it. He said, it's going to be very, very hard. Tryout was at FCW.
Okay.
I came in the first class of the people at the Performance Center. And it was intimidating because you walk in, there's 7 rings, this state-of-the-art gym, this whole place that they've hyped up and made a big deal about. And you're like, it's just fucking huge. Like, this is a big deal, And to be in there and be in that first class, it's cool. It's
Norman Smiley?
The man.
Everybody says that about him.
If you don't like Norman Smiley, I hate you with every ounce of my being. If there's anybody out there that says anything bad about Norman Smiley, I will personally come to your house and kick your ass. Like, you just know he's the man. Matt Bourne was actually the first person Dusty brought in when he took the book in WCW. Big Josh was a Dusty creation, and it was the first one that he brought in. So we had that connection right off the bat, and so he'd always take me in his office. We'd just bullshit, and he would go, you watch TV this week? Yeah. How would you book the next thing going to the pay-per-view? I we'd sit there and just like bounce ideas and just like fantasy book shit, just because he was bored. And I, would have a free hour. He's in the building. Why wouldn't I go and pick his brain? You know? And looking back, it's the smartest thing I ever did because he taught me so much about so many different aspects of everything. We'd sit there, I'd have him watch Monday through Thursday in the ring. Thursday, either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday would be a promo class. They would just split up into groups. One of those days, most of the time, instead of being in the ring, you'd watch tape. And then Thursday night, you'd have a show, be back in Friday morning, which used to be like real tough because it was like just full-blown same training as Monday.
Right.
Towards the end, now there's like a yoga lady that comes in Friday morning to do stuff, which I'm sure DDP's not happy about. But she'll come in and do that. And then, go to the show Friday, and then Saturday mornings are off. Come meet me today. Okay, so I go meet him. The guy that plays Kenny Powell, what's his name? I said, Danny McBride. Yeah, him. I know his agent. So we're going to have him come in promo class and cut a promo with you. I'm sitting there in my head going, Danny McBride is not coming to promo class. Like, I know this isn't happening. Like,
right.
He was talking about, like, bringing in, like, Darius Rucker to sing with one of the girls. I think it was, like, Alexa Bliss. And so he just has, like, these grand, illusions of everything, but it was, like, he was just trying to lighten the mood, So he goes, watch this. And he kicks the door open, and Byron Saxton was still there, like, being his assistant. Byron, like, jumped up. Get me Danny McBride on the phone, and just marched away. I'm like, well, I guess the meeting's over.
You're far removed, but do you think there's jealousy from the main roster or even the main creative team with NXT? I mean, you hear stuff between Kevin Dunn and Hunter with, friction there, and
I don't know. Like, we never really thought about it. We're just kind of doing our thing.
Doing your job.
Yeah. And even then, a lot of the guys from the main roster came from NXT, so like we're all friends with them. And it wasn't, like everybody's always, don't trust anybody in the wrestling business, but like we did. A lot of people trusted. When Kevin first came in, I know I had a meeting with Bill. He's like, it was him trying to light a fire, but like, I think the biggest thing is like you have 70 different people. There's 70 different ways to coach somebody. So when Bill pulled me in his office, like, look, Kevin Steen's coming in, so company's gonna go one way, you're gonna go another. I was like, well, thanks for being honest, So all right, cool. I guess I'll just prepare for a new job. And then I was walking out of his office, and Dusty pulled me in, and he goes, that's your spot. Fuck him. You keep what's yours. Blah blah blah. Which obviously didn't happen. But
was this basically what you said? Dusty kind of saved you a little bit one time.
Yeah. Well, Kevin is coming in with a buzz, and so is Fergal, and so is Kenta.
Yeah.
These are guys that have been around for years. You know what I mean? And like doing things on a high level that like our fans that are watching our show are paying attention to everything that those guys are doing. Like, so they're gonna have that buzz coming in. So why would you let that stagnate?
Right.
It was tough because the live event crowds, like the little kids love him. Like, he's full of energy and he's good for the product. But
yeah,
those wholesale crowds can be very much like
ECW
a Philadelphia ECW arena crowd. And so when I jumped him and got a babyface reaction, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be so tough to sell on TV just because they're being such assholes. But then like you kind of learn how to work with that, right? It was like when we went to Philly. Yeah, I'd say Hunter and Billy Gunn was like really big Baron supporter and helped him tremendously. Like that, like Billy really helped develop his whole thing. And Billy produced that match at Takeover, him and Matt Bloom.
Is Baron a loner? From what I hear, is pretty much.
Yeah, I mean.
Does he have a passion for the business?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
because his background's different from.
It is, but
like
he grew up like a fan, like, and he showed me like a bunch of posters he found, like shows that like any shows his dad would take him to, I guess,
right
back in Kansas. But it was Hunter's idea and his initial vision of it, which I don't know if it got lost or I don't know what happened, but I know initially it was Playboy Buddy Rose,
Yeah.
And like not so much blowaway diet, but like more Portland,
right?
And we were working on developing it that way, and then we were using food, like we did the spot in Philly with the cheesesteak and all this kind of stuff, and it was working. But then people, I think what happened was, I don't know this for sure, thought I was getting a raise, which is the funny part,
right?
Because I had talked to the office about it maybe like 3 months before I got released, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna see, where the character goes, and if you can take full advantage of it. And then the UK tour happened, and I'm like, all right, cool, like we're good, and got pulled into the office. And just told, hey, decision's been made, we're going to let you go. But what can you do? You know what I mean? It's out of my control.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. Like I thought about it for like maybe an hour, and then I said, well, it's not worth thinking about because it's that way and I got to go that way now. So that's when I called Dreamer, the second person I called. First I called Taz and told him, and then got on the phone with Tommy because he'd always, been there for me and helped me out. And
you got a spot with me. Is that what he said?
You consider yourself booked?
You're booked on April 15th and 16th. I'll call you back.
At one point, we were even talking about it, like, especially when he had the neck surgery, we were going to, like, have me and him, like, I would be his new Tajiri.
Right.
And we were just coming up with stuff, and, like, I
great.
remember pitching stuff, and I would pitch stuff to him, and he would tell me, he'd go, I'm down for anything, because comedy's right up his alley. You know? And if it's something where we would always, like, sit kind of close to each other on the bus, like back of the bus, there'd be a bunch of us sitting there, and like if Sammy, like just him going on about life, and when he get all amped up and happy about like this life that we have is amazing, and just start talking and using his hand, like, where's all Sammy's shit? And he was like, oh yeah, just quit. I'm like, what? And we met up that night, we had a couple beers, we talked, and but he's got, like I said, like those guys got balls, man, because it's tough when you're in that bubble because you're so in it that you think like this is it, like there's nowhere else to go.
Right.
And then when you kind of need to understand, there's no formula for getting signed. There's no formula for staying signed. Like I always tell people, the easy part is getting signed.
Yeah.
It's sticking around. That's the hard part. That's the challenge. Yeah.
How much? Before we wrap up, Danny has some questions. Dan, you want to be on camera with them?
No, it doesn't matter. I just got
Here, why don't we mic you?
I just got some questions.
Of course he does. What's up?
So I just got some questions
Of course
that I
you
know
do.
the fans, they're gonna, especially the Northeast fans, and me personally, selfishly, my family.
Have my phone actually.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sure, of course.